What'd you make of Daniel Jones's performance against the Vikings, Steve?
I really appreciate quarterback coaching, I'll call it, and it's the same thing. People always say, because you see a coach on the sidelines with a headset, and they all look generally the same. They all have the scowl, and they all have the piece of paper in front of them. And as fans, we really don't is anyone better than the other? I don't know. How do I know? And I'm here to tell you that the rarity of great coaching for the quarterback position, and really for football, because if you have a great quarterback, you have a chance. The expansiveness of what those guys have done. Mike McDaniel. You think Mike McDaniel just shows up and all of a sudden the Dolphins are juggernaut passing the football, or that the spirit of what they brought, or Kevin O'Connell shows up with Kirk Cousins has his best year of his life, and then Brian Daboll has a plan and tells Daniel Jones, look, Daniel, you're leaking oil everywhere. Things are spitting out all over the place. We don't know whether you're coming or going, and we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to calm everything down. You have a brilliant mind. We're going to calm that down. We've asked way too much of you, and we're going to start from scratch. And we're going to ask you to do things that you're comfortable with, that make you relaxed, and your mind can now, kind of be at peace. And we're going to build from there. And that's what they did. And they said, we're going to play great defense. We're going to run the football, and we're going to ask you to do not as much. And as he calmed down and started to find his way of, when your mind is at peace, your body can now respond, and all the athleticism can respond. We saw this whole year, Brian Daboll hold him to this new philosophy, this new way that we're going to do it, and not get away from it, and let Daniel calm himself. And I think that's what's happened. And now you see the playoff game after 16, 17 games, Daniel Jones has started to grow into and started to build back. And now the road that's been paved is paved with gold. Like, it's not going backwards. He's not going to. Things aren't going to start flying all over the place. He's built into a better player, and that's because of coaching.
Well, then I guess I know this has nothing to do with the playoffs, Steve Young, but I read there was a deep dive article in The Athletic today about Zach Wilson, the other starting quarterback in New York City, and how he reached out to you for advice in the middle of all of his troubles this year. What's your suggestion to the Jets to try and unlock him? I mean, you want to talk about coaching quarterbacks. They have a new offensive coordinator coming in, whoever that's going to be. What's your 2 cents, having spoken to Zach, knowing him and the situation there, Steve?
Actually, the same kind of thing. Same kind of thinking is that you need somebody that can come in and calm it down. The expectations are overwhelmed them. And instead of having a big brother to come in and who has years of understanding of what he's going to face and understanding what he's going to have to go through. You want somebody that can turn to you and say, look, you and I are tied. You succeed, I succeed. We're going down together, and I'm backing you. I believe in you. It's simple. In some ways, it's simple things, but with a plan, like an idea that I recognize that you're overwhelmed. If he can't, they're better. Zach had at the end of the season, at some point, became more likely that he could convert a 4th and 18 than he could have 1st and 10 swing pass, because things had gotten so haywire. And so more than anything, it's to calm the mind, get everybody relaxed, get the things in, get the support. And you know what? That doesn't mean it's going to happen. How many times have we seen people come and try to, climb this mountain and can't do it? That's okay. And I think Zach's going to be fine with but I want every opportunity to have somebody around me that supports me and gives me the best chance to succeed. He's got the talent. I think that, again, it's coaching, and then Zach's got to go do it. And he's got to rebuild and be able to make the commodity work of quarterbacking. The things that are very easy to do, easy again. Because the things about Zach is what's amazing about him is the things that are hardest things to do on the football field from a quarterback perspective. That's what he's good at all the time. What he's not good at today is the commodity work that should be rather easy to fix.
So who was that guy for you? Who was that person for you back in the day, Steve?
Well, you got to remember, Rich, I was very fortunate. I mean, you go back to college, and Mike Holmgren's my college coach. I go to the USFL and the LA Express, and Sid Gilman. And I don't know if you know that name, Rich. You're probably old enough to remember Sid Gilman. But,
of course.
I mean, he was like, Sid Gilman was the godfather of all quarterbacks. Dan Fouts, the Chargers back in the day with Eric Coryell. And he's the first one to tell me, bro, you're running around, it's crap. It's not going to get it done.
What do you mean?
You got to develop a sophisticated passing mind. If you're going to be any good in this game, you got to be. And so what he was saying, and I try to tell this same story to every dynamic quarterback, dual threat, whatever you want to call them, guys that can move around. That you need to emotionally and even physically. He took a rope out one day. And he's like, give me a rope, and they got him a jump rope or something. They brought it out there, and he tied my feet together. I don't tie these feet together. You're not going to go anywhere. I'm like, this is stupid. He made a big scene about it, right?
Right.
But emotionally, that guys need that to happen, because if they don't, they never truly do the work to become a sophisticated passer. And the funny thing that Sid knew, that everyone else around me, understood, not everybody, but very few, I guess very few, Bill Walsh as well understood, is if you can develop a sophisticated passer, you never forget how to move. You never forget how to run. You never forget how to get out of the pocket and get easy. And the game back then was not nearly as free and open as it is today. When I say the game's come to me, there are so many yards to go get, easy yards, first downs and touchdowns for quarterbacks. And that's why I say to Joe Burrow, Joe loves to be that sophisticated passer. You can see that he has a little hubris around, I'm not going to run because that's cheap, and I'm going to be he needs to get on his horse and go get those free yards. They're out there. And that's why Josh Allen goes and gets them. Patrick Mahomes goes and gets them. And if you don't have somebody, a young quarterback, Pat, I'm going to take Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers off the table because they're sophisticated and they don't, they're in another place. But if you're a young quarterback that can move, you have to go get those free yards. And they're out there for everybody. And Sid Gilman's the one that told me, become a sophisticated passer. You never lose the ability to go run, and then you become super dangerous. That's when a dual-threat quarterback truly is dual threat.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.